Alright, well I'm injured, but I do have to clean up these shelves, and so we're doing an unhaul. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and today, guys, we are doing a book unhaul. But before we get into this, please do me a favor, like this video and subscribe to the channel, as it does help the channel grow. And you can check the description box down below for links to all of my social media, including information about my Patreon, the Pango books, where all these books are going to be listed, and the Wizards Enclave Discord, where we've got an amazing bookish community. With that out of the way, we should jump right on into this. Now, I do need to preface, I have injured my back over the weekend, and so yes, you are getting a little bit of a different angle. I am standing up. I do happen to have an ice pack tucked into my waistband, and I'm in pain. But hey, the show must go on. So, I've got some books behind me. I'm going to unhaul them, and I'm going to tell you why. So, starting off, this one, we're going to start off with one I'm not quite sure on yet. Essentially, we've got the Pines Blake Crouch trilogy, and that includes Pines and, I believe, Wayward, which I've read these two. And then we've got The Last Town, and I've enjoyed these two. And I've got ebook versions of these as well. But the problem is I just feel like Blake Crouch is not an author I feel like I need to collect. And B, like, I feel like I'm not going to be satisfied with the ending, because no matter what happens, this is just not going to be like a super good ending. Like, there's no way it can possibly be a good ending, at least in my opinion. Like, I don't know where this series is going to go, especially with the twist that is in this series. I'm trying to be non-spoilery here, but like, I'm going to read book 3, but after I've read book 3, I don't know if I need to keep these books on my shelves. And I think book 3 is, in fact, signed by Blake Crouch, so that's unfortunate that I have a signed copy, but I am probably going to be listing these on Pango here soon. I do enjoy Blake Crouch, just not enough to collect his books. Then we've got this one right here. This is a mass market paperback of Blackwind. I'm currently halfway through this book, but I got the Borderlands Press Fine Press edition that's leather bound. It's signed by the author. It's numbered. It's got premium paper. I don't need a mass market paperback anymore, so this is being unhauled from the collection. But let me tell you what, this story is really good. F. Paul Wilson, really good author. Do yourself a favor and check him out if you haven't already. Some really great books that are either like sci-fi or horror adjacent, or just like almost kind of like urban thrillers. Oh, a lot of good stuff there. That one's a historical kind of horror, I want to say. Potentially, yes. We've got this one. Now, I've read about 10% of this. This is Phil Williams' However Many Must Die. And I'm very happy that I bought this to support the author, because this is an indie book. There's just, I don't know, I wasn't quite connecting with the characters in this one. And I thought it was interesting, but not interesting enough to pull me all the way through the story. I also still have an ebook of this, so if I do change my mind, I can come back and read this one, because I do have a digital copy that I purchased on my Kobo, because that one is available on Kindle Unlimited. No, it's available on Kindle and Kobo. It's not on Kindle Unlimited, which is why I was allowed to buy it on Kobo. There we go. That's how that works. Now we've got some of these got kind of moved around. Oh, we'll talk about this one. We've got Raymond Feist Fairy Tale. And essentially this is an urban horror that was released in the 80s. And here I was really vibing with the characters, and I was vibing with the world, and I was vibing with everything about this book. And Raymond Feist is just amazing. Except there's a sexual assault scene within this book that I just don't think was handled particularly well. It hasn't aged particularly well. And overall, that was just a huge no for me. So unfortunately, this one was just as soon as I got to that chapter and I experienced that scene, I just kind of closed the book and walked away from it. So that's Fairy Tale by Raymond Feist. I'm still planning on reading some Feist. He's got that Firemane trilogy, and I've got King's Buccaneer and Prince of Blood on the shelf over there as well to still check out. So there are those. We've got right here, I'm Afraid You've Got Dragons by Peter S. Beagle. I've read this one, and it's not something I would reach for again. It needed a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit more page count to give it that punch, to really make it kind of stick. This was kind of almost Pratchett adjacent, but it moved too quickly, and I remember reading this, but none of the story kind of stuck in my head, and so I'm just going to kind of let it go. It's a gorgeous book, though. Like, look at these end pages. I'm really sad to be letting this one go. I've still got more Peter S. Beagle that I would like to check out. And he kind of writes in a little bit more of a like timeless classic style of fantasy. But really good. But overall, it just didn't stick in my brain. And it's only been 4 months since I read this, and I could give you maybe the broad strokes. That's about it. But I couldn't tell you any of the characters' names. But really fun story about like dragons and stuff like that. And yeah, I highly recommend you check out Peter S. Beagle, because I definitely want to read more from him as well. I've got Iron Prince right here by Bryce O'Connor and Luke Chimolenko. This book is amazing. And I have hardcovers hopefully coming in the next month or so. And so this is a big, thick book. And book 2 doesn't exist in paperback. So I've got the hardcovers on the way. And so I'm just letting this one go. But this is still one of my favorite books that I've read since joining BookTube. This is probably easily in a top, like, I don't know, 20, 30? This is a top tier book. Really, really, really good. Really, really, really good. I would recommend that book to almost anybody. Aha! Now we've got these, and I feel weird letting these go because I wanted to continue this series, and I still technically can, but it's just not a series that's been calling to me ever since. And that is The Rune Lords by David Farland, which is kind of broken up into 2 different eras. And I've got the first 4 in hardcover. Oh, heavy. I've got the first 4 in hardcover, which is Rune Lords. Oh, excuse me. Book 3 is Wizardborns. Book 2 is Brotherhood of the Wolf. And Layer of Bones. I read Rune Lords easily last year. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to continue. And I haven't. I haven't even tried. And that should just tell me that I should probably just read something else. And, I mean, if I do change my mind, like Ray Porter, I believe, does the audiobooks, which I love me some Ray Porter. And I think I've got ebooks of these as well. So I do have other avenues to continue these series, or this particular series, and so I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. But I've got all the hardcovers, which is a shame because it's hard to find the actual hardcover of Rune Lords in good shape. But like, look at these in pages. Oh, this book is gorgeous. I'm sad to be kind of letting it go. Is there like art on the other side too? It's the same art. But yep, I'm letting these go. Gonna kind of move them off to the side. Ooh, as I do my old man hobble. Put out my lower back on a trampoline this weekend with my daughter. No bueno. We've got these right here. We've got Rachel Aaron's The Last Stand of Mary Goodcrow. And also book number 2, The Battle of Medicine Rocks. And this is a Western fantasy. That's the term I'm looking for. It's a Western fantasy. And overall, like, it seems like a good premise, but the execution just isn't pulling me in. I'm not vibing with the characters. And I wanted to like Mary Goodcrow, but like when you first meet when you first meet Mary Goodcrow, Mary is like really cool and she's like escaping and she's got all these powers and it's really awesome. And then the next time you see her, not so much. Like, she wasn't as intriguing to read in her next chapter, and I just was like, I don't enjoy reading you. And that made me sad, because I was really looking forward to this series. But I've got other books by Rachel Aaron to check out. I still want to do Heartstrikers. There's the one with the witches I've got over here, Hell to Pay and stuff like that. So there's other books by Rachel Aaron that I can still check out. And yeah, so I'm going to be listing these on my Panga books for letting them go. And then, ooh, this is the heaviest stack. We've got this right here. We've got Tad Williams, and I don't ever like to say that I'm getting rid of a Tad Williams book, but I was going to do a buddy read with my good friend Nico from Nico's Book Reviews, and very, very quickly, like, I tapped out on this. I found it very formulaic. I didn't find it intriguing. Like, this was some of Tad Williams' weakest writing, at least at the beginning of Shadow March Book 1. And I've heard that it gets better, but unfortunately, like, that first, like, 10 to 15, I don't know, maybe I made it 20% into the book, was just so, it just didn't pull me in at all. And I can't make my way through it, and I can't find the drive to want to push through it, because these are not tiny books. These are all big books, and I've got all 4 in hardcover. And frankly, I could use the shelf space. I mean, I'm not hurting for shelf space, but at the same time, like, we could always all use a little bit more shelf space. So I'm going to be letting Shadow March go. That makes me sad But I've still got, like, Last King of Osternar to look forward to, because I'm certain I'm going to absolutely love, because it's Ted Williams. I'm willing to give anything a shot. Alright, never say never with Ted Williams. Then we've got The Will of the Many, the original hardcover edition. I bought the special edition with the new cover art that they're definitely moving forward on, because, you know, I've released a short on this already. I've read this one, and yeah, I mean, I've got a new copy that will be matching the cover art of the Strength of the Few. So I'm going to go ahead and let this one go, which is a shame because I kind of like the minimal kind of cover style. There we go. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, there's that one. And I recently decided to let these go. I've read this trilogy, and I really, really like this trilogy. I've got the audiobooks, though, and that's the way I'm going to always consume this story. I'm never going to read this book physically because, frankly, I just like to hear the narrator, whose name is escaping me, say Gorfethid. That's entertaining, and he brings a wryness to Sir Derval Cadern that I really, really enjoyed. Like, I've read Winter King, I've read Enemy of God, and I read Excalibur, I want to say about 1.5 to 2 years ago, so it's been a while. But, yeah, I need, again, I'm not hurting for shelf space, but I'd like to free up some shelf space, and if I'm never, ever going to even crack these spines ever again, and I'm just going to do the audiobooks, if I ever revisit them, then I should just do the audiobooks. So I'm going to go ahead and list these and pass them on to somebody else. Then we've got this stack of books. Don't worry, we're almost done. The pain is almost over. We've got, right here, Tim Powers. And I read The Anubis Gates for my patron book club, which, again, if you want more information on, is linked in the description box down below. Or, again, the Pango Books, where I'm listing all of these, is there as well. And this was good. I want to like this. And it's like just on the edge of me being like, this is an author I can really vibe with. And yet, it's just not quite there. And recently, there was like a read-along for The Stress of Her Regard by Tim Powers. And that got a very mixed reaction. Everybody in the Patron Book Club, I think everybody DNF'd it but me. And I forced myself to finish it, and it wasn't bad. It was again a 3-star reading experience, but it kind of unfortunately soured me on Tim Powers' backlog, and I kind of lost interest in it. And so I've got the Hide Me Among the Graves, Last Call, 3 Days to Never, and Declare. And I'm just going to go ahead and make some space on the shelves and get rid of these ones. So fortunately, like, I'm just not going to be collecting Tim Powers. I tried one book, and it really wasn't for me. And then finally, we've got this. We've got The Fireman by Joe Hill. And I really like Joe Hill. And I really like the premise of this story, and I like the characters. And unfortunately, with all of this page count, by the end of it, because we're looking at over 700 pages. Yeah, we're about 750 pages. It doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't really do anything. Like, stuff happens, and we're in a different situation. But, I mean, it just goes from bad to bad. Like, it doesn't really resolve anything. And I just felt like the journey wasn't worth the destination on this one. Despite the fact that, like, some great characterization, some great moments, a really, really cool premise. But this one just was a failure to land for me. I'm still really excited for King Sorrow, though, which should be coming out here relatively soon. But that is the last book that I am planning to unhaul from my shelves here currently. I'm sure as the months and the years go by, I will remove more books from my collection. But these are what I'm unhauling currently. Let me know in the comment section down below if I've made wild errors in judgment and if I'm just being rash and I shouldn't be getting rid of some of these books. Yeah, just let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, but I hope you are doing well. Till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons. Thank you for supporting my passion and my hobby. It means the world to me.